I realized something this year. I don't actually have a time problem. I have a priority problem. There's so many things that I want to do and so many things that I feel like I need to do. It can be really challenging to recognize what things actually are priority. Instead of protecting time for the things that matter the most, I was trying to fit it in leftover time. So, this new year, instead of making resolutions or making long lists of goals, which I do love to do, I tried something different. I asked one question that changed everything. If you've ever felt like your days are full, but the important things keep getting pushed aside, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Megan, and welcome back to Moments That Matter. What actually matters most to me? And does my calendar actually reflect that? This video is not about learning how to do more. It's about how to plan your life in a way that reflects your priorities, especially in seasons where time feels short and life keeps changing. For me, this became very real as my kids started moving out, and I realized that we are in a transition season that's going to go by really fast, and pretty soon all of our kids are going to be gone. Some of the moments that I want most won't happen unless I plan for them. So today I'm going to show you the exact process that I'm using to identify what actually matters most, decide what gets priority this year, and plan my time in a way that feels intentional and not overwhelming. When I asked myself that question, what actually matters most, I realized something. I had goals, I had intentions, I had ideas, all of which were good, but I didn't have clarity and I didn't have order. And without that, everything feels important, which means nothing really gets prioritized or protected. So instead of starting the year with goals, I started by taking a step back and asking, what are the main areas of life that take up most of my time, energy, and attention right now? And are these things actually things that I want to take up my time and energy and attention? These aren't aspirational areas, not someday categories, but real life. Things that fit into my life now, and only the things that I want to fit into my life right now. For me, that came down to 5 categories: personal life, family life, home projects, spiritual growth, and work goals. And work encompasses my job, coaching, my lacrosse program, orchestra, all of the other things that I do. Any professional aspirations. That's a better name for it. Professional aspirations. And before I wrote down a single goal in any of these areas, I took some time reflecting on each category and thinking, not what should I improve, but what do I want this part of my life to feel like throughout the year? And how much of my life do I want it to fill up? That one shift really was a game changer for me, because once I framed it that way, I could see really quickly where I was trying to do too much and where I was assuming that time was magically going to appear. Let me give you one example, because this is where it stopped being theoretical for me. Right now, my family life is top priority to me. My kids are older. 3 of them have already moved out. 1 is about ready to leave for a year and a half. And the kind of time that we have together now isn't going to last forever. I realize that some of the things that I say mean the most to me, like one-on-one time with my kids or memorable family activities, these were mostly happening with leftover time. I wasn't scheduling my time around these things that actually matter the most to me. And leftover time is not a plan. That's a perfect formula for putting it off and it never happening. I really want to make those meaningful moments a priority this year and make sure that they happen. So I asked my kids directly, what does time together look like for you? And how often do you actually want it? That was such helpful information to have, because their answers were simple and very doable, but they require intention. Once I saw that clearly, I had even a bigger realization. If something truly matters, it has to be scheduled, or it's going to get crowded out. Because whether we mean for it to happen or not, our calendar gets very full. There's always things going on. So without a plan, these most important things can't be protected. So after I did all of this brainstorming in each area of my life, what I wanted it to look like, what things really truly mattered to me, I asked one final question. What matters most? And what gets priority this year? Not everything can be top priority. And just because I can do something doesn't mean I need to do something. Deciding ahead of time where my priorities lie was actually a huge relief, because once I knew my priorities, planning didn't feel so stressful. It started feeling exciting. And it was super easy for me when an idea would come in my head to look at my priorities and measure it against those. Does this idea fit into my priorities? If yes, then I can think about it more. If no, then I don't need to worry about it. It can sometimes be hard to realize that not everything can be top priority at the same time, but that's not a failure. That's not a lack of ability. It's just reality. We cannot give the same amount of time and energy to everything or to every idea that pops in our head. Life is about choices. Deciding and knowing what matters the most to me made it so easy for me to let go of any guilt that I felt around things that I just am choosing not to do right now. I can't do everything, and that is more than okay, especially when I know that the time that I have is being spent intentionally. So here's where my calendar comes in. I call it my big calendar. And honestly, the tool itself doesn't matter. I've used wall calendars, planners, digital calendars on my phone, spreadsheets. It really doesn't matter. I just need to be able to see my year at a glance. And I always start by putting in the things that I can't control, but I want to remember, like birthdays, school calendars, family events, vacations. Life things go on the calendar first. And only after that do I start layering in my plans that support my priorities. If I'm wanting to spend more one-on-one time with my kids, I want to make sure that I already know possible conflicts so that when we come down to the day, I don't need to reschedule. I want to make sure that I'm planning these things on days where there isn't already a conflict. Because if I try to plan these things before life is accounted for, it feels more just like a wish and a hope. I hope that it happens. But if something comes up, it might not happen. But when I plan around life, things suddenly feel doable. I can see exactly where my pockets of time are, that I can commit to these things that matter the most. The calendar doesn't control my life. It protects what matters in it. This matters the most when it comes to my family. I know I will never regret time spent with my kids. I won't wish that I had a better cleaning schedule. I won't wish that I worked more. I won't wish that I had rock hard abs, although I wouldn't really mind that. I will wish that I had been present. And presence doesn't just happen by accident. It happens when you decide ahead of time what matters. This process isn't about control. It's about intention. I don't know exactly what this year will hold, but I do know this. If I plan around what truly matters, the rest will fall into place. And that's how I'm choosing to move forward this year. Thanks for being here with me. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and making time with me to capture the moments that matter. If you liked this video, think about subscribing and joining me next time.